I am Dr. Laura Moreno, and in this video, I want to talk to you about how to lower high blood pressure naturally, using habits that actually work when they are applied step by step and consistently. High blood pressure is one of the most common health issues worldwide, and at the same time, one of the most misunderstood. Many people think it's something that appears suddenly or that it can only be controlled with medication. But in reality, blood pressure is deeply influenced by daily habits, often long before medication is ever needed. One of the most important things to understand is that high blood pressure usually develops quietly. Many people feel completely fine, or they notice vague symptoms like mild headaches, fatigue, neck tension, or dizziness that they don't immediately connect to blood pressure. The danger is not how it feels in the moment, but what sustained high pressure does over time to the heart, blood vessels, brain, kidneys, and eyes. Lowering blood pressure naturally does not mean looking for quick fixes or extreme solutions. It means teaching the body, day by day, to regulate itself better. And the encouraging part is that small, realistic changes often have a measurable impact when they are done consistently. One of the first habits that truly matters is reducing excess sodium. This does not start with the salt shaker. Most of the sodium people consume comes from processed and packaged foods, restaurant meals, sauces, breads, deli meats, and snacks. Excess sodium causes the body to retain fluid, increasing the volume of blood and raising the pressure inside blood vessels. Lowering sodium does not mean eating bland food. It means retraining the palate, using herbs, spices, garlic, onion, lemon, vinegar, pepper, and natural seasonings allows food to remain enjoyable while reducing strain on the cardiovascular system. Within a few weeks, most people notice their taste buds adapt. Movement is another foundational habit. Regular physical activity helps blood vessels become more flexible, which lowers resistance and allows blood to flow more easily. This does not require intense workouts. Walking briskly, cycling, swimming, dancing, or even consistent daily movement makes a difference. What matters most is not intensity, but frequency. Sitting for long periods keeps the body in a low circulation state. Even standing up, stretching, or walking for a few minutes each hour helps counteract this effect. The body responds to regular signals, not occasional extremes. Breathing patterns also play a powerful role. Many people live in a state of shallow, rapid breathing, especially when stressed. This keeps the nervous system in an alert mode that raises blood pressure. Learning to slow the breath, breathe deeper into the abdomen, and extend the exhale sends a signal of safety to the body. Just a few minutes a day of slow, controlled breathing can lead to noticeable reductions in blood pressure. This is not relaxation theory, it's direct nervous system physiology. Stress management is another pillar. Stress itself is unavoidable, but chronic stress without recovery keeps stress hormones elevated, which raises blood pressure. Many people don't realize how tense they are until they intentionally slow down. Managing stress does not require eliminating responsibilities. It means building moments of recovery into daily life. Reducing screen time at night, setting boundaries, taking short mental breaks, and prioritizing rest all contribute to better pressure control. Diet quality overall matters just as much as sodium. Diets rich in vegetables, fruits, legumes, whole grains, and minimally processed foods provide potassium, magnesium, and fiber. These nutrients help balance sodium, relax blood vessel walls, and support healthy circulation. Potassium, in particular, helps the body release excess sodium. Many people consume too little potassium and too much sodium, creating an imbalance that raises blood pressure. Weight changes can also influence blood pressure, but this needs to be approached carefully. The goal is not rapid weight loss or chasing a number on the scale. Even modest, gradual weight reduction can significantly lower blood pressure in many people by reducing the workload on the heart. Sleep quality is another habit that is often underestimated. Poor sleep disrupts hormones that regulate blood pressure and stress response. People who sleep too little or have untreated sleep disorders often struggle to control blood pressure despite other healthy habits. Alcohol and caffeine deserve attention as well. Some people are more sensitive than others, but excessive intake of either can raise blood pressure over time. Observing how your body responds is key. What works for one person may not work for another. Learning to measure blood pressure correctly is also part of the process. Measuring when calm, seated, after resting, with proper arm positioning gives more accurate information. Isolated high readings during stress do not reflect true baseline pressure. It's important to be clear that natural habits do not automatically replace medication when medication is needed. However, these habits often improve control, reduce progression, and in some cases allow for fewer medications under medical supervision. High blood pressure is not a personal failure, it's a signal. The body is asking for adjustments. Trying to change everything at once usually leads to burnout. The most effective approach is choosing one habit, integrating it, and then adding another. The body responds to repetition, not force. Over time, people often notice not just lower blood pressure, but better sleep, more energy, less tension, and improved overall well-being. The benefits extend far beyond the numbers. And as you begin to see how these habits work together, you may start to recognize other patterns in your body and daily life that influence blood pressure in quieter ways, opening the door to deeper understanding of how small, consistent choices shape cardiovascular health over time. And that deeper understanding is where real, lasting change begins. Once you stop seeing blood pressure as an isolated problem and start seeing it as a reflection of how your body is coping with daily demands, everything shifts. You become more curious, more attentive, and less reactive. Hydration is one of those habits that sounds simple but has a surprisingly strong effect. When the body is even mildly dehydrated, blood becomes more concentrated and circulation requires more pressure. Many people spend most of the day underhydrated without realizing it, especially if they rely heavily on coffee or other diuretics. Drinking water consistently throughout the day helps the cardiovascular system work with less effort. This doesn't mean forcing large amounts of water at once. In fact, that can be uncomfortable and unnecessary. What matters is regular intake, paying attention to thirst cues, and noticing signs like dark urine or dry mouth as reminders to hydrate. Another habit that plays a role is gut health. The intestine influences inflammation, nutrient absorption, and even hormone regulation, all of which can affect blood pressure. Diets low in fiber and high in ultra-processed foods tend to disrupt this balance. Adding more whole foods, vegetables, legumes, and naturally fermented foods supports a healthier internal environment that favors better pressure regulation. Daily rhythm is also important. Irregular sleep schedules, skipped meals, and inconsistent routines confuse the body's regulatory systems. The nervous system thrives on predictability. Eating, sleeping, and moving at roughly similar times each day helps stabilize hormonal patterns that influence blood pressure. The pace at which you live matters more than many people realize. Constant rushing, multitasking, and feeling behind keep the nervous system in a low-level stress state. Even if you don't feel anxious, your body may still be responding as if it's under threat. Slowing down intentionally during certain moments of the day can counteract this. For example, eating without screens, chewing slowly, and actually tasting your food activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for rest and digestion. This shift alone can lower blood pressure over time. Muscle tension is another silent contributor. Many people carry chronic tension in the neck, shoulders, jaw, and upper back. This tension is not just uncomfortable, it reflects sustained nervous system activation. Gentle stretching, heat, massage, or mindful movement can help release that tension and support vascular relaxation. Spending time outdoors is another habit with measurable effects. Natural light, fresh air, and exposure to green spaces reduce stress hormones and improve mood, which indirectly supports healthier blood pressure. Even short daily exposure can make a difference. Social connection also matters. Feeling supported, heard, and connected reduces chronic stress. Loneliness and unresolved conflict, on the other hand, increase physiological stress responses. Talking, sharing, and maintaining meaningful connections is not optional for health, it's part of it. Another subtle but powerful habit is learning to say no. Overcommitting, people pleasing, and ignoring personal limits create ongoing internal tension. Setting boundaries may feel uncomfortable at first, but it reduces the chronic stress load that drives high blood pressure. Posture also influences breathing and circulation. Slouching compresses the chest and limits full breaths. Sitting or standing with a more open posture allows deeper breathing and better oxygenation, which supports vascular health. Sleep timing matters as much as sleep duration. Going to bed at wildly different times disrupts circadian rhythms that regulate blood pressure. Creating a consistent wind-down routine signals the body that it's time to shift into recovery mode. Reducing mental stimulation before bed is part of this. Bright screens, intense content, and constant notifications keep the brain alert. Lowering stimulation in the evening helps blood pressure naturally drop during sleep, which is essential for cardiovascular recovery. Sugar and refined carbohydrates also influence blood pressure indirectly. They increase insulin levels and inflammation, both of which can raise pressure over time. Reducing these foods doesn't mean eliminating enjoyment. It means being more intentional and balanced. Some people notice their blood pressure spikes at specific times of day. Paying attention to patterns can reveal triggers like stress at work, lack of breaks, or certain meals. Awareness allows adjustment. It's also important not to chase perfection. Occasional indulgences, stressful days, or missed workouts don't undo progress. What matters is the overall pattern. Natural blood pressure reduction is about creating an internal environment where the body doesn't need to stay in defense mode. When the body feels supported, it often responds. As these habits slowly integrate into daily life, many people notice that their relationship with health changes. They feel more in control, more connected to their body, and less dependent on fear-driven decisions. And in that process, you may begin to notice additional small signals, habits, and adjustments that influence how your body regulates pressure, opening up even more opportunities to support your cardiovascular health in ways that feel sustainable, empowering, and aligned with how your body naturally wants to function over time. And as that sense of alignment grows, something else begins to happen. You stop fighting your body and start cooperating with it. Blood pressure responds best when it no longer has to compensate for constant internal strain. Many people are surprised to discover that what they thought was normal tension was actually a major driver of their numbers. One habit that quietly undermines blood pressure is constant mental stimulation. Living in a state of continuous input, news, notifications, messages, background noise, keeps the brain alert even when the body needs rest. This constant stimulation prevents the nervous system from fully shifting into a recovery mode. Creating moments of mental quiet during the day is not wasted time. It is physiological regulation. Even short pauses, a few minutes of silence, closing the eyes, or stepping away from screens allow the nervous system to reset. Over time, these small pauses reduce baseline stress levels, which directly influences blood pressure. Another often overlooked habit is how quickly people transition between activities. Jumping from one task to another without pause keeps stress hormones elevated. Building small transitions, standing up slowly, taking a breath before switching tasks, allowing a moment of stillness, helps the body downshift. The way you wake up also matters. Starting the day by immediately checking messages or rushing sets a tone of urgency that can last for hours. Beginning the day with light exposure, gentle movement, and calm breathing supports healthier blood pressure patterns throughout the day. Food timing plays a role as well. Skipping meals or eating very late at night can disrupt hormonal balance and stress the cardiovascular system. Regular meals help stabilize blood sugar, which indirectly supports blood pressure regulation. Protein intake is another factor. Adequate protein supports muscle mass, metabolic health, and satiety. Poor protein intake can lead to blood sugar swings, which increase stress hormones and affect pressure. Magnesium-rich foods, such as leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and legumes, support muscle relaxation and vascular tone. While supplements may help some people, food-based intake provides broader benefits. Potassium balance continues to be important. Fruits and vegetables are not just healthy, they actively help counteract sodium's effects on blood vessels. Increasing potassium intake through whole foods often has a measurable impact on pressure. Alcohol deserves careful attention. Even moderate drinking can raise blood pressure in sensitive individuals. Many people underestimate how much they drink and overestimate their tolerance. Reducing frequency and quantity often leads to noticeable improvements. Caffeine sensitivity varies widely. Some people tolerate it well, others experience significant pressure spikes. Observing your own response rather than following general advice is key. Another habit that influences blood pressure is unresolved emotional stress. Suppressed emotions, ongoing conflict, or chronic dissatisfaction keep the body in a subtle state of threat. This doesn't mean emotions cause disease directly, but emotional load absolutely affects physiology. Finding healthy ways to process emotions, talking, journaling, therapy, creative expression, reduces internal pressure in a very literal sense. Laughter, play, and enjoyment are not luxuries. They activate relaxation pathways that counterbalance stress hormones. People often underestimate how much joy matters for cardiovascular health. Breathing deserves emphasis again because it is one of the few systems you can control voluntarily. Slow breathing with longer exhales directly lowers heart rate and vascular resistance. Practiced daily, it retrains the nervous system. Some people benefit from guided breathing or mindfulness practices. Others simply benefit from being more aware of their breath during the day. Both approaches work when done consistently. Tracking progress is helpful, but obsession is not. Measuring blood pressure too often can increase anxiety and paradoxically raise readings. Scheduled, calm measurements provide better information. Fluctuations are normal. Blood pressure responds to sleep, stress, meals, hydration, and emotions. Progress should be judged by trends, not single readings. Another important point is patience. Vascular changes take time. Arteries that have adapted to higher pressure do not relax overnight. Consistency over weeks and months is what creates lasting change. Comparing yourself to others is not helpful. Each body responds differently. What matters is whether your own numbers and overall well-being are improving. Natural blood pressure management works best when it becomes part of life rather than a temporary project. Habits that feel punishing rarely last. Habits that feel supportive do. As these changes integrate, many people notice benefits they didn't expect. Calmer mood, better digestion, deeper sleep, improved focus. These are signs that the nervous system is settling. And as you continue building these habits step by step, you may begin to notice even more subtle connections between how you live, how you feel, and how your body regulates pressure, creating space to explore additional adjustments that further support balance, resilience, and long-term cardiovascular health in ways that feel natural rather than forced. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss upcoming videos where we talk about blood pressure and overall health in a clear, practical, and calm way. Share this video with someone who may be struggling with high blood pressure, leave your questions or experiences in the comments, and join me as we continue learning how small daily habits can create real, lasting changes and help the body regulate itself more naturally over time.